Testing. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah.
Might be nice and brief.
Exactly.
Hey, Casey, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, all right, because I'm going through the computer, and I just don't know how that is.
Oh crap.
What's the matter?
I guess can I share my screen with you for a sec?
Yeah. Oh, wait, let me make you co-host. So I should be able to share.
Okay.
This is kind of off my head.
A little bit.
Okay.
Not bad though. Okay. So, I figured, if your scorecard's good and you clicked add request to submit, you're all set. I linked the request
Yeah.
piece in there, included just like this copied right over from yesterday's thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that look good?
Yeah. Can you go back up?
Yeah.
Go back up.
This screenshot doesn't include the entire scorecard, just because I didn't want to have any personal information.
Yeah. No, that's okay. And go back down again. I think it's fine. I think it's great.
Okay,
Looks good.
cool. I
All right.
am
Gonna
gonna
hit
just get that out there.
Okay. Does this thing zoom? No, man, it's right there. It's like, hello, RT. All right. Can I test something? I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like it's doing it again. I feel like Zoom sometimes sabotages me. Like I think I know what I'm doing, and then I get into a session and the windows of Zoom break apart.
Oh.
It's usually associated with sharing my screen. All right, so you can see my screen.
Thanks.
Because I'm going to be sharing, I'm going to be doing a couple things today.
Okay.
With my screen. I just want to make sure all right, so how do I get, if I want to get back to, like right now, I can't see. No, I can't see. Oh, there they are. It hides the participant tab when I'm sharing my screen.
Oh.
So, all right, I was like, okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. Does it? Yeah, it all comes back together then. All right, I'm going to do that again, just so I'm Safari. All right, so that's that. Participants, and then the chat. Where'd the chat go? Oh, there's chat. Yeah, it comes up as a different window. All right, that helps. You would think I would have this. I think I'm going to move this over here. I'm freaking parched. I got, when I was in Connecticut, the worst haircut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, I still haven't fixed it. There's like a long thing that comes out to about here. Because my hair was pretty long.
Uh-huh.
And there's just sections where I just totally missed.
I have got like little bushiness to the eyebrows, but like if I were to like go here at the top of both of my eyebrows, they're these like just super long eyebrow hairs.
Just start braiding them.
They're just boom.
Turn them into dreadlocks.
Yeah, they just like hang out right in front of my eyeballs.
Then you can put like little ornaments on them.
Then they turn into windshield wipers.
I feel like there's a character potential there. Some sort of weird juggler.
All right, I am closing all the CDBG stuff. I'm getting it out of here for right now.
Oh man. Okay.
Oof.
I'm nervous about that stuff.
What specifically are you nervous
Well,
about?
just yeah. Like how, I wonder if on Monday we can be like, let's give some people a little bit more time. I wonder but they seem to be pretty hard on the timeline.
Oh, really? The
It's Anne and
yeah.
But
I mean, it was a brutal timeline right from the beginning.
ridiculous. I mean, I do like the way Bobby has positioned it in using the term of a pilot. I don't know if we've used that publicly, but but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Do you know? Did Vintage Steel ever respond to Sarah?
I don't know.
Yeah,
if he did.
I don't ever recall it coming up in.
You saw his response to us, right?
Yeah, it was fine. It was totally fine. You can't trust it though. That's what's sad. You can't.
Oh man.
You can't. When you engage with him, he's charismatic. But then he'll get to social media and just rip us a new one. Yeah.
Oh, buddy, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Have you ever met him? Like, would you recognize him if you saw him?
I think he lives really close to me, and actually,
He does. He lives on Generous Street.
Oh man, yeah. Because I'd like.
You don't live up. Do you live up that way, or do you live like the parking lot where we juggle? Do you live more down that way?
Like if you go out of that parking lot, like you're heading towards like the Walgreens.
Yeah.
There's like a neighborhood on the right, and like just as you're getting out of there, I live at the very end of that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great location.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, I had this. Say what?
How long have you been there?
Just since like October.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good location. You can walk in. I mean, you really can walk into town. I mean, it's what is it? Maybe a mile?
Yeah, maybe not even.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sort of right near the beginning of quarantine. I like was juggling outside and just sort of like walking, and I kind of like realized I was about halfway in town, and I texted Sarah and I was like, I'm basically already at your house. Can I come and like stand in your yard?
That's great. John's yard or her or older?
I think I think it was her yard.
Yeah.
I think this was before she had moved in.
Yeah. That's a great location too. I love that location. Oak Street or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I really lucked out with that spot.
You got some roommates or housemates?
Yeah. I have a couple. They're great.
Did you know them going? Sorry if I'm prying. Did you know them going into it, or?
No, it was pretty wild actually. I did not have like a great situation prior to this. And at one point I get a text from my roommate at the previous place, and they're like, landlord wants to sell the house. Like they're working on the bottom floor first. You have 60 days to find a new place basically.
Yeah.
And, I was like, oh, so I just like stopped what I was doing. I think I was in the middle of doing some sear wheel or something. And I just like, I put it down. I just immediately went on Craigslist, started scrolling through some things, saw one that looked like pretty decent. Sent them a message. About an hour later, I got a response saying, hey, we're around if you want to come by and check out the place. So like 2 hours after that, I was at my current house, like meeting the roommate and
Yeah.
all of that.
Oh, so they were already there. They were.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So they had an open room. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was like, and then it was all really great to the point where I was like, that am I missing something?
Yeah, it was too easy. Somebody's a stalker or a murderer or something.
Yeah, so I talked, I just like had to go over to my friend's house and say like, let me just talk through this. And then so like 2 hours after that, like in the span of like 6 hours from like finding out I needed new housing, I had secured my next housing. It was like,
That is crazy.
it was pretty miraculous.
Are your housemates, are they professionals? Are they?
Yep. One of them is like a behavioral therapist or does some kind of thing in town, has like her own little practice.
Nice.
Another person, I think does direct care with seniors.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great. So if it's just Millicent, I emailed Millicent directly about today's webinar because she did this little, you can see people pass through. If it's just Millicent that's here, I'm going to say that we. Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, well, do we go ahead and record the content? But I just don't know.
Do you know if we're going to have any
Tristan,
representatives
the representative that usually, Representative Tolino, I need to force myself to say that. He sent an email saying that he wasn't able to attend today.
Gotcha.
And I didn't do any direct outreach to the federal delegation folks. Just because I don't think there's really anything for them to. I mean, maybe the new stimulus that the additional $1,200 that they're trying to get to people, but there's
still up in the air.
There's nothing firm on that. Yeah, that's all they can say. There is still funding in the Vermont recovery grant programs. Yeah, I'm working through whether or not we just record a little bit with some updates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we can record, and if we get through it and they're like, maybe that's not worth like throwing up, we can just not.
Yeah, but I also don't want to give. This is the other challenge. I don't want to give Millicent the floor for because she was going to talk about a specific thing that she's doing. I don't want to like it look like we're like featuring this one business.
Ooh,
So I think I might avoid the recording piece.
All right.
But I'm going to let her in because it's.
Yep.
Hey, okay, she's still connecting.
Hey, Millicent. Oh,
Yeah, it looks like she's still connecting. Or at least that's what I'm saying.
Hey, can you hear me now? Hi.
It's just the three of us.
Okay.
So Casey and I were just chatting about whether or not we were gonna go ahead and go through with it if it's just the three of us. I'm inclined to, not go through the material that I had prepared. But I'm happy to chat with you for a few minutes.
Sure. Why did people not show up? I mean,
I think it was a couple things. I usually send out a notice to people, and I wasn't able to get that out this week.
Oh.
Casey did do a little bit of social media. I'm not. Our last 2 weeks have just been. What's the word? We've been working at capacity on another program.
Okay.
So I'm not even sure if like our typical newsletter got out with the blurb about it. So I think it's just some communication endeavors fell through the cracks.
Right.
So, you know, I have material for today, but I'm inclined to not dive into it and save it for the next one.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
So, but
Can I tell you what this is?
yeah, I'd love
Yeah.
to hear about it.
Okay. So, basically what it is it's I've, you know, I kind of assembled this Bama tech and marketing team, right? They're volunteers. A lot of them have done tech volunteering in the community. I'm more on the marketing design side. Others are on the technical side. And we've done a few things.
And is everyone in this group, are they here in Southern Vermont, or are they spread out around?
They're in Southern Vermont. They're all local, not all in Brattleboro.
Okay. That's not, just curious.
Yeah. About 6 or 7 people, but you know, some of them are not active now, is active now. It's a small group. For example, we did, the group of us on the marketing side did the kind of marketing and support for the Nourish Artist program for Stephanie Bonin for DBA. Right. And then a couple of us also did all the food handout for that. But we did like social media, design, we had an illustrator, writing, you know, and everything promoting that. And then also we worked with Turning Point, which is an addiction counseling center.
Yep.
And they're during COVID, their drop-in center was shut down. And so the only option for giving counseling services was by phone, but a lot of these people don't own phones. They don't have phone networks. They're poor. And so the team on the technical side, we did a social media, we kind of recruited a bunch of phones, used phones. And then the tech guys cleaned them up and gave Turning Point phones, so they were able to do phone counseling.
Oh, nice.
So we've just done a couple different, and then we've helped individuals. You know, sometimes people don't, you know, trying to attend a town meeting, don't know how to use Zoom, or I don't know. There's been individual tech help requests for right? Yeah. So it's been like a kind of a voluntary tech help and marketing design sort of service. Yeah. And so there's a project that I've been working on, and I piloted with about 6 people and 2 businesses. And the sort of name for it is called Secret Shopper. But what it really essentially is an online kind of customer experience review for the business's website and Facebook page. The whole idea of this is that a whole lot of businesses are having to go online now and do business online and may not know how, or they may think they do, but they don't really know how. So I've written up a document that's an overview that anybody's interested needs to read, but I'm going to give you a couple points from that, because it's important to kind of explain to people what we do and what we don't do. For example, we're not providing strategic information, you know, or we're not giving people marketing strategy, right? We're like, it's more basic than that. It's kind of, can people find you online? Can they find your product? Do they understand your product, what your product is? Do they know how to do business with you during COVID? You know, those sort of basic, things. It's not, if somebody has a problem with their business model, this is not what, we're not going to help you with that. Right.
That's where we can come in.
Yeah, exactly. But also just the idea that, you know, it's a chance to hear from, and it's done with a kind of customer experience in mind. There's a mixture of adults and then young people who are ages in between like 16 and 20. If they're in Brattleboro, they're getting community service hours credits for it.
Okay. Cool.
And we've been through a pilot now. With them. Yeah. And we did it with 2 businesses, with Hempicurian and with Boomerang. And just to see, is it valuable for them?
Right.
You know, and and for the people for the volunteers who are doing it, is it fun enough that they're going to keep doing it?
Right.
So is it feasible to do more? And it seemed like it was.
So you've identified an additional 6 or so?
No, I'm open for it. That's what I'm announcing. It's like businesses, I got a team of people now who have been trained to do this.
And your ideal candidate would be?
Any local business in Windham County.
Okay, but like a bricks and mortar retail?
Yeah, it could be a service. It would be somebody that has an online presence, a website, Facebook page, dealing that it interfaces with the public to sell a service or sell a product.
Okay, all right. Okay.
It could be like a hotel. It could be a hair salon. It could be a grocery store.
Right.
I mean, it really.
Will you be charging at all?
Nothing. No, it's all entirely voluntary.
Okay. And
what a person would get is, so for the process is like this. They have to read the overview and decide they understand what we're offering and not offering and so forth. It's like a 1-pager online.
Yeah.
They sign up. And the sign up is just a little bit like, what's your business? Who are your customers and how can we reach you?
So yeah. I'm stuck because, I mean, I'm not asking this cynically.
Yeah.
But is your hope that in the end they turn into clients?
No.
Or are you being paid through a grant of some? Okay.
No.
All right. So this is truly sort of a volunteer endeavor to help share.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Nobody's getting anything out of this.
Which is awesome. I mean, it's just great.
It's good to know. And I think the other businesses who signed up asked Stephanie Bonin the same question. Is there a catch? Why would somebody do this?
Are you okay?
Renee Wolliver is one of the adults. She was initially starting on a marketing business. She doesn't try to sell it when she does this, but she's now got a job. So that's, and most of the people who are on the team are retired. I'm pretty much retired.
Right. Hey,
and I did a lot of this as a consultant.
Second.
Yeah.
Hi, Jennifer. We're having a conversation with Millicent.
Is that what's happening? You're not having a webinar this week? I didn't realize.
Yeah, Casey and I, at 2:16 decided I think we're going to sort of pull the plug, but Millicent had joined because I had emailed her. So she's catching me up on the project, and we're learning a bunch from her. And anybody that comes into the waiting room, which there's only been one person, I'm letting know that, I'm pulling the plug on this week's session. So that's all.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Just hanging out with Jeff Lewis today for lunch, That's what does.
Oh, okay. Say hi.
I lured him out of his house.
So you're looking for 6 people, 6 potential
4 to 6
candidates.
people. And, and not more than that, because I kind of want to, again, see, we did 2, it worked well.
Yeah.
We got to see I don't want to promise more than we can deliver.
Yeah. What's really interesting to me, and maybe this came up in your discussions with Stephanie, but for that kind of work, I've wondered, and I've floated this by different people like Kate O'Connor, Wilmington Works, those entities that serve like Main Street businesses. It's almost like a shared resource model in a way, because I think so many of those small businesses they think they can do it. It's in their sort of DNA to tackle things on their own, but they don't have the capacity to do that kind of work. At least that's my take on it.
Well, they may not have the capacity, if they hear things. I mean, do they have the capacity to do anything about what they hear? It's like, that's going to be up to them. We're not fixing it for them.
Okay.
What we're doing is giving them feedback.
Okay.
Right? And both cases with Boomerang and Hempicurian, my experience in talking to them afterwards, because I wanted their feedback on how this went for them, was that they both had, I think they both had applied at least one of the suggestions by the time I talked to them within a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt was from Boomerang was especially like, he had just, I think, opened his website 4 months ago. And he was like, oh my God, this is amazing because we don't know how well this is going to go, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
And he's like giving it to all his, you know, so what they get back from doing this, all the reviewers, they fill out, there's a form I set up for them online, right?
Yeah.
In a little scenario with a business. Like, so I have a little conversation at the beginning and I like just find out what a little bit so that I can write a scenario, customer scenario. And that's in the form for the reviewers. And then at the end, they get what the business gets is a PDF of, you know, it's just from a Google form, right?
Yeah.
Right. And that PDF has some charts, which are ratings, and some comments that explain that. 16 to 18 pages or so. And you've probably seen those kinds of forms.
Yeah.
And then they can ask questions if they don't want to understand something.
Do you have a website? Do you have material? Like if
Yeah.
I were to have a conversation with somebody, do I?
Yeah, I'm going to send you, let me open up the chat window. And I will send you, here's.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to ask Casey a question. Because as I'm listening to this, the hard part here is that this is total volunteer. And the other hat that Casey wears, Millicent, is that he manages our internship program. You know, so I'm sitting here thinking, gee, I wonder if there's an opportunity for an internship associated with this project. But this program, the interns have to be paid. And so this is a completely voluntary.
Yeah, no, we don't have any money.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just like people, like, you know, kind of was inspired at COVID.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Businesses have to read the overview. It's short here.
Yeah,
And
okay.
Then the sign up form is, and my contact information is under the overview. So if they read it and they have a question, they can just email me.
Okay, I'm getting.
And here is sign up. Here.
So this seems to me like really useful, like technical feedback.
It's technical and sort of not design as in change your fonts or anything, but yeah.
It's like usability. It's like kind of like user interface. Like, are you like, you're helping the business who maybe can kind of like, you know, stumble through a Wix editor, but like isn't necessarily realizing that their like purchase button is like through like 4 clicks or something.
Yeah. Or, and it's just like, how would a person experience that? So many people, when you're making your own website, if I'm making my own website, I ask somebody else to look at it. You know, you're really in the weeds with it.
Yeah.
Somebody else look at it.
Yeah.
Like, so that, you know, what that kind of jumps out to me, RT, is like, you know, is there like, is there technical assistance dollars that like could come down in support of like some sort of like having, you know, an intern be some level of like, you know, project manager,
like,
you know, role.
Yeah.
So kind of like could work with Millicent to kind of take over some of the like
if she would even want that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? My one concern right now is, to be honest, I was actually not sure that it would be valuable for the businesses. I've done a lot of consulting, right? And it tends to be pretty strategic when I've done it in my career. Not always, but often.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of work that goes into one single business. So how, you know, this is like doing it in volume with untrained people, you know, and could I come up with a format that would even provide any value? So I was actually kind of surprised that they said, yeah, this is great. because it is pretty brief.
Yeah.
But my one concern right now is that if I don't find businesses soon enough, some of the volunteers will just like forget about it. Because
Yeah,
right now there's some enthusiasm. They're like, okay, but they're young.
Yeah, Millicent, why don't we try to let's I like to have things on my calendar. Why don't we touch base by the end of next week? And I'm gonna put some pen to paper with some ideas of some folks that I think might some folks that you could at least have a conversation with, if that would be helpful.
It would be, but if you just think, I mean, I don't know what other questions you have, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I mean, if you thought that this might be useful for anybody, you just send them the overview and the sign-up sheet.
Okay.
Just or send it out to a bunch of people and say, look, if you're interested in having some feedback for your website, for your online business, here's something that's being offered right now.
Yeah.
And let them go at it and see if they decide for themselves. You know?
And Casey, to your point about technical assistance funding, unfortunately, that the program, as you know, Casey, the funds either associated with community facilities, it wouldn't be aligned for an eligible use, and the other one is associated with the loan program, and I know Millicent doesn't want a loan. So I'm
not trying to start a business, and actually if both of those things, if either the volunteers dry up or the businesses say, yeah, that's nice,
you'd be fine with that.
I'd be fine with it, and I'm closing it up.
Yeah, no, it's really neat that you guys did this. It's funny because the discussion, and so maybe we just push this out for 2 weeks. What I was going to dig into a little bit today was, the idea of pivoting, and I was going to pull up the data of these various the modeling data that's being done by a bunch of universities. There's one website that sort of aggregates all this stuff, and I was going to pull that up and just show people that at least they won't do projections out more than a month, so it goes to September, but there are no projections that show a leveling off or decline. So if at this point a business hasn't started to think about pivoting pretty dramatically, or the point is they need to be thinking about pivoting. So how do they do that? And I know some businesses have started to transition online and so forth, but I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah, this may not, when I think of pivoting, I think of this is something about a direction for their business.
Right, but it could be,
right?
I think it's complementary. I think, a B&B could, I don't know. The B&Bs just are a puzzle for me. Like, I don't know what they can do.
The B&Bs?
A bed and breakfast.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But all I was trying to say is it would have been an aligned conversation for today's topic, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I've got the links. I've got them in my browser. I'm going to bookmark them. I'm going to think about up to 6 businesses to share this with. I'd love to sort of sync back with you either by email or just a quick phone call.
Anytime.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And thanks for being our sole participant. We didn't record, so.
Okay.
But it was good seeing you.
All right. Thanks so much. All right.
Talk to you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, Millicent.
Bye, Casey.